If I could go back to my youth, there are many things I would do differently, but time cannot be rewound. Now, at 70 years old, I realize life is not about running the fastest, but about understanding every step. Here are 6 life lessons I've learned after 7 decades of travel. Hopefully, you won't have to wait as long as me to find out. 1. Health is a priceless treasure. In the past, I often underestimated my health. I worked day and night, slept poorly, ate carelessly, and rarely exercised. I thought that as long as my body was strong, everything was fine. I didn't realize that health is like savings. Every little decision we make, what we eat, how we take care of our bodies, is an investment for the future. But I only understood this when my body started to give signs of fatigue, when my steps were no longer as strong as they used to be, and when I spent more time in the hospital than enjoying the freedom of life. Now I realize that health is not just about longevity, but about quality of life. What's the point of living to a ripe old age if every day feels like a struggle because of a haunting illness? I see friends who maintain a healthy lifestyle, remain active in their 70s, can play with grandchildren, travel, and enjoy life without pain. While I, who used to be too busy chasing material things, have to deal with medicines every day. I want to tell those of you who are still healthy, don't wait to get sick to start caring for your own body. Take care of yourself like you would take care of something most precious. Eat well, keep moving, get enough sleep, and don't ignore the little signs your body gives you. Believe me, money can be found, a job can wait, but lost health cannot be bought back. If I could go back to my youth, I would rather live a simple but healthy life than a wealthy but fragile one. 2. Family time is more precious than gold. I once thought that providing a decent life for my family meant working endlessly hard. I sacrificed time with my children, missed their birthdays, rarely had dinner together, and often came home late at night. I told myself, it's all for them. But now, at the age of 70, I've realized one very painful thing. Money can be found, but time lost will never come back. I see my children growing up without much of my presence. They learned to walk, talk, go to school, and live their lives without too many memories of their father. I was so busy chasing the outside world that I forgot that my family is my real home. I only realized when they were grown up, busy with their own lives. Now, when I want to spend more time with them, I realize that the opportunity is no longer what it used to be. Time marches on and waits for no one. I want those of you watching this to learn from my mistakes. Don't wait until it's too late to start cherishing family time. Be present in their lives, not just with money, but with time, attention, and love. Hug your kids, listen to their stories, spend quality time with your partner. Because in the end, it's not the big house or the savings that will make us feel rich, but the love and togetherness we build with our loved ones. 3rd, don't fear. Old age, fear, meaningless life. I used to be afraid of growing old. I saw old age as something scary. I was worried about losing energy, losing opportunities, and even losing meaning in life. I thought that once I passed a certain age, I would no longer be useful, just a burden. But now, after actually reaching the age of 70, I realize something different. Aging is not something to be afraid of. What we should be afraid of is living a life without purpose, without happiness, without meaning. I've seen people who are still young, but their lives feel empty. They are chasing something they don't understand. They measure happiness by wealth, popularity, and achievements that they can show off. But at the end of the journey, they are meaningless without true happiness. I also see people my age who, even though their hair is turned white and their bodies aren't as strong as they used to be, they still have spirit. They still learn. They still benefit their surroundings. They don't feel old because their souls are still young. I now understand that old is not just a number. Old is how we live our days. We can age with fear, or we can age with wisdom and gratitude. Don't be afraid of growing older. Be afraid of the days that are wasted without meaning. Don't worry about what we can no longer do, but focus on what we can still do. Because as long as we are alive, there is always a chance to be happy, to learn, and to share with the world. Fourth, simplicity brings true happiness. I used to think that happiness was found in big houses, fancy cars, and endless money. I thought the more I had, the happier my life would be. So I worked hard, sacrificed my time, ignored the little things, to get everything I wanted. But what happened? When I finally had it all, I still felt something was missing. There was an emptiness that couldn't be filled with possessions, and I realized that true happiness lies in simplicity. Now, I find happiness in things that I used to take for granted, in a cup of coffee in the morning, in a light conversation with an old friend, in the sound of my grandchildren playing in the yard. I realized that happiness is not about having more, but about being able to enjoy what we already have. Often we are too busy chasing the big things that we forget that true happiness is in the small moments we experience every day. Simplicity does not mean living in deprivation, but living with enough and gratitude. We don't need to have everything to be happy. We just need a heart that can see happiness in everything. Don't let blind ambition rob you of your happiness, because at the end of life, it is not the amount of possessions that we will remember, but the precious moments that we lived with meaning. 5. Forgive yourself and others. I once held wounds in my heart, mistakes I made in the past, words I shouldn't have said, decisions I regretted. All of them were once a burden that I found hard to let go of. I've also carried the pain of being betrayed, hurt, or abandoned by people I trusted. I thought that by remembering all that, I could keep myself from getting hurt again. But I was wrong. Grudges and regrets only made me more trapped in the past. It took me a long time to realize that forgiving does not mean forgetting, but letting go. Letting go of the burdens that made my heart heavier, letting go of the mistakes that could not be changed, and letting go of the pain that continued to haunt me. I finally understood that no human being is perfect. We've all been wrong, we've all hurt and been hurt. But life isn't about constantly looking back. It's about moving forward with a lighter heart. And most importantly, we must also learn to forgive ourselves. Don't be too hard on yourself for the mistakes that have already happened. We can't change the past, but we can choose how we live the future. I choose to make peace with myself, with the people around me, and with the life I have lived. And I hope you can do the same. Don't let old wounds steal your happiness today. 6. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be enjoyable. I once thought that happiness only comes when life goes according to plan. I wanted everything to be perfect, a harmonious family, a stable job, strong finances, good health. But life is never like that. There are hard times, there are failures, there are losses, and there are things that are out of our control. In the past, I was often disappointed and felt life was unfair. But now, I understand. Happiness doesn't come from perfection, but from how we accept life as it is. We don't have to wait for everything to be perfect to enjoy life. Don't think that you can only be happy if you have more money, more time, or fewer problems, because the truth is, there are always challenges in every phase of life. If we keep looking for perfection, we will only miss the happiness that is right in front of us. Now, I choose to savor every moment, no matter how small. I enjoy a cup of tea in the morning, the laughter of my children, even the rain that falls in the afternoon. I learned that life is not about achieving something big, but about finding happiness in simple things, because in the end, it is not perfection that we need, but a heart that is able to be grateful and enjoy what we have. Life is short, but it can be meaningful. After 70 years of life, I've realized one thing: time goes faster than we think. It seems like only yesterday that I was young, full of ambition, pursuing various dreams. But in no time I've aged, my hair has turned white, and my body is no longer as strong as it once was. I ask myself, have I really lived my life well? Have I cherished every second that God has given me? If I could go back in time, I would smile more and worry less. I would spend more time with my family and less time chasing after things that don't really matter. I would say thank you and I love you more often to the people who matter. And most importantly, I won't wait to be happy. I'll enjoy every moment I have. But I know time cannot be turned back. All I can do is share what I've learned so that those of you watching this don't have to wait as long as me to understand the true meaning of life. Take care of your health. Spend time with your loved ones. Don't be afraid to grow old. Live life simply. Forgive yourself and others, and enjoy every second you have. Because in the end, it's not how long we live that matters. It's how we fill it. Life is short, but it can be meaningful if we choose to live it with love, wisdom, and gratitude.